to block Texas's new GOP favored House map from being used ahead of the 2026 midterms. We're going to bring you the latest reactions. Then next summer, the U.S. will co-host the World Cup, bringing the sport's top athletes and biggest fans to our shores. We're going to have more details on the announcement made by the White House. And it looks like we've already triggered our weather authority alert because of a storm system that could be producing some pretty decent rain chances for us, Robert.
Monica, that's right. Between now and about evening on Thursday, we face the potential for heavy rain, even some thunder showers. I'm going to have your detailed forecast. We're live on KTSM 9+, and your news starts right now.
Did that work?
You're watching KTSM 9 News First at 4. Starts right now.
The judges released an 160-page ruling, but the bottom line is very clear. The new map cannot be used. That's because race was a predominant factor in how it was drawn, something the court says is unconstitutional. And the timing mattered. The judges said the 2026 election isn't underway yet, so Texas can keep using the 2021 map without causing disruption. In the non-unanimous decision, the judges say there is, quote, substantial evidence that Texas racially gerrymandered the 2025 map. The court pointed to a letter from the U.S. Justice Department and pressure from the Trump administration saying both pushed the state to change districts in ways based on race, not just politics. The ruling also notes this has national implications because the new map would have created 5 Republican-leaning districts at a time when control of the U.S. House is extremely close. Because of all of that, the court is putting the new map on hold while the lawsuit continues. We reached out to Congresswoman Veronica Escobar and Congressman Tony Gonzalez, along with Representative Vince Perez for comment. We will have all of that local reaction in our later newscasts. Back to you.
Diana, thank you so much. Meanwhile, we are receiving a reaction from Texas state leaders. Texas Governor Greg Abbott released a statement that reads in part, quote, the legislature redrew our congressional maps to better reflect Texans' conservative voting preferences and for no other reason. Any claim that these maps are discriminatory is absurd and unsupported by the testimony offered during 10 days of hearings, end quote. And Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton called the ruling unfair, accusing the decision of undermining the will of the American people. He released this statement that reads in part, quote, I will be appealing this decision to the Supreme Court of the United States, and I fully expect the court to uphold Texas's sovereign right to engage in partisan redistricting, end quote. And you can always learn more on this story by simply visiting KTSM.com. Now to a story we've been following for months. The criminal case against former El Paso City Council member Joe Molinar has been dismissed. As we previously told you, Molinar was charged with failure to stop and report a collision that he was involved in earlier this summer. This video went viral on social media shortly after the incident happened on June 29th at the Quick Walk parking lot on Lomaland. As you can see, the driver of the truck, later identified as Molinar, backed up into another car that was parked. However, Molinar's attorney confirmed to KTSM today that the case was dropped as there was no financial loss for the driver of the vehicle Molinar hit. Now, Molinar did serve a single term on the city council from 2021 to 2025. All right, let's go ahead and take a little break here from today's news headlines and talk about the other headline that everyone is concerned with, and that is our weather. So as you're taking a look outside, you're seeing those stratus clouds. It does look a little gloomy out there. Chief Meteorologist Robert Perez has just triggered that weather authority alert. And Robert, you're telling us rain is on the way.
Rain is on the way, and in addition to that, Monica, I'm concerned about the stability late Wednesday night into early to midday Thursday. We could get some strong thunder showers out of this system. Right now, 69 degrees at the airport. We've got winds coming in from the east 3 miles per hour. Gloomy clouds, but still a warm feel outside. Well, tomorrow the temperatures go down as the center of this Pacific low gets closer and closer. Still the main energy right there near San Diego, but it's about ready to make its push into the borderland. As you can see, it's drawn in quite a bit of moisture, and that moisture and instability could translate into heavy rainfall at times, starting early tomorrow morning. Here's a quick look ahead. Tomorrow, high temperature goes down to 65 degrees with periodic rain showers through the day, then thunder showers late Wednesday night into Thursday morning that could get strong. I'm going to have your detailed forecast coming up in just a little bit. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and take a quick look outside using our TechStock cameras, and this is what we are seeing. US 54 Pershing. Things are moving quite nicely and smoothly in both directions. There really isn't a lot to slow us down in this part of the city. Well, in national news, the House overwhelmingly voted to pass a bill directing the Department of Justice to release the files related to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Now, this move comes after months of intense opposition from President Trump and GOP leaders. The bill directs the Attorney General to release unclassified records and documents in the possession of the DOJ related to Epstein, his former associate Maxwell, and other individuals named or referenced in connection to Epstein's criminal activities. And the bill will also allow records that contain personal information about victims or contains child sexual abuse materials to be withheld. Kristen Askow is in D.C. and she will have more on this story in our next half hour. Well, in more national coverage, the winter holidays are approaching fast, but many soccer fans are already thinking about the summer. In the summer of 2026, the U.S. will co-host the World Cup, bringing the sport's top athletes and biggest fans to our shores. In today's Political Minute, News Nation's Blake Berman explains some of the steps the White House is taking to prepare.
The U.S. playing host in 2026. I'm Blake Berman, host of The Hill on News Nation. Calling all soccer fans, you might know that preparations are underway across the country for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, where 48 teams from all over the globe will face off. The White House making an announcement this week aimed at helping fans traveling into the U.S. to watch all that action. The president and Gianni Infantino, the head of FIFA, unveiling what's known as the FIFA Pass, a pathway for soccer fans with World Cup tickets to get expedited U.S. visas. The goal is to cut down on wait times for visa interviews from several months to several weeks. The World Cup is hosted by the U.S., Canada, and Mexico and will take place in June and July. In all, about 6.5 million people are expected to attend. Events are scheduled in cities across the country, with New York and New Jersey hosting the final match. Next month, the World Cup draw will take place at the Kennedy Center in Washington. I'm Blake Berman, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
Well, the New Mexico teen who dumped her baby in a trash bin will return to jail after the New Mexico Court of Appeals upheld her conviction. Coming up, we're going to go over your thoughts in today's In the Comments segment. Thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9+, always putting local first.
Scan to download Tickets on sale now.
Welcome back, everyone. In today's In the Comments segment, after more than 2 years, the Hobbs teen who was convicted of throwing her newborn into a dumpster had her appeal rejected. Nearly 4 years ago, Alexis Avila was sentenced to 16 years behind bars after a jury found her guilty of child abuse and attempted first-degree murder. In 2023, she appealed her conviction, claiming she did not get a fair trial because the jury instructions were confusing and her attorney did not bring up insanity as a defense. The State Court of Appeals rejected those arguments. Now, we did share the story all over our social media pages, and a lot of you had some thoughts you definitely wanted to share with us. So we're going to start off with Heather Bryant, who writes, here's a question. Where were her parents in this whole thing? If they were paying attention, they should have seen something and should have been there for her. Meanwhile, Patrick Moran writes, so if she came from a good family, why was she so afraid to inform her own parents she was pregnant? I could talk with my parents about anything, especially something very important as this. And Angelica Mendoza shares, I was afraid she would walk. Something is better than nothing. Now, as you may remember, Avila was originally released pending her appeal. However, now that it's been rejected, the DA says she will be brought back into custody. And here at KTSM, of course, we value your opinion and we definitely want to hear more from you. So make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. Well, an event here in El Paso is bringing in fashion designers and models from across the nation. Up next, Jackie Garcia, CEO of Bazaar Models, joins us live with those details. Stay with KTSM 9+.
But two locations.
Two locations, one great name. Oscar Leaser's Hyundai of El Paso.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Welcome back, everyone, and check this out. So today has been proclaimed as Eddie Guerrero Day. El Paso City Council honored the life, legacy, and impact of the WWE Hall of Famer and El Paso native Eddie Guerrero this morning with a special event. Guerrero attended Jefferson High School and went on to become a superstar. and he became a professional wrestler. Guerrero was inducted into the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame back in 2023. How amazing is that? His whole family went in there to just support him. What a great legacy.
And all from here.
Right?
Franklin High School, you say? Wow, okay. Well, what a wonderful honor. I'm concerned about the weather over the next 48 hours.
I know, you did say that. So rain chances.
Yeah, not just rain, but potentially strong thunder showers as well. So let's go ahead and trigger that weather authority alert. I want to issue that through about Thursday evening. Cloudy skies right now. Nothing to worry about tonight. We're going to feel the pitter-patter of a couple of drops probably right before midnight, give or take. And then overnight tonight will increase the rain chances in the morning hours, with my concern mostly by Wednesday night into about lunchtime on Thursday. The atmosphere really kind of goes a little crazy on us as far as instability. And I'm concerned that this driver, this big slow-moving Pacific storm, could spawn some very strong thunder showers and unlock, of course, some locally heavy rainfall. So we want everybody safe, so we'll be just very watchful over the next 48 hours. Here are the high temperatures so far today. I predicted 71. So far, that's what we've been. 71 for Juarez, 64 Las Cruces, 68 Alamogordo, 59 Ruidoso, and 63 TRC. So we went down a little bit on temperature so far today. Yesterday was 73. Now, this is a big, slow churning system, and it's driving in a lot of moisture. Look, it's cloudy from El Paso all the way down to Baja California, and that basic stream of moisture is what could fuel some potentially strong thunder showers Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Right now, it's pretty quiet on the radar. Nothing yet for us, not expecting it until late tonight. And then over the mountains of Arizona, we have some decent snowfall in the upper elevations. We too could get a little dusting up around Ruidoso, possibly Cloudcroft, but that would be up around 10,000 down to about 7,500 feet. Here are the temperatures in your neighborhood right now. Now, it's going to stay cloudy through the night tonight, so the temperatures will be definitely on the more mild side. And here comes your exclusive 9-hour forecast for tomorrow. High temperature goes down to 65 degrees, so finally we're going to have to find some jackets. We'll see periodic rain showers, and some of those showers could get a little heavy on us at times, especially late tomorrow night. Allergy forecast 2 9s for Wednesday and Thursday, and then a 12 for Friday. Low temperatures tonight, 50 for Alamogordo, 48 for Deming, 52 Juarez, and 51 for Van Horn. High temperatures tomorrow, everybody dropping down as that low pressure system gets closer and closer. 64 Alamogordo, 62 Deming, and 66 for Juarez. Tonight for you, Las Cruces, cloudy skies with again few drops before midnight, better chance of rain overnight into the morning hours. 65 your high temperature for tomorrow. Tonight, same story for us, clouding up, couple of drops right before midnight, and then after midnight into the morning hours, some rain showers. Now, coming up, I'm going to have your exclusive 9-day forecast. We'll talk about where I'm most concerned. You stay with KTSM 9 News.
Ask Robert, sponsored by Truly Nolan Pest Control. This week's question comes from
Robert. How do tsunamis form?
What causes tsunamis? That is an excellent question. First of all, what is a tsunami? A tsunami is a sudden rising of the ocean, a big wave that comes on shore and can do incredible damage rather quickly. Well, there are a couple of reasons a tsunami forms. We need a shock at the bottom of the ocean. One, it could be a volcano. Yes, they do erupt under the sea. Or it could be an earthquake that sends out a powerful shock wave through the water. Well, as that shock wave moves along in the deep ocean, you can't really see it. But as the ocean gets more and more shallow, that wave gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it crashes into the shore. Thanks for your question. Now that's science made simple.
KTSM9news.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, the Texas International Fashion Week is an event that brings together designers from across the nation to celebrate creativity, culture, cutting-edge trends. And joining us right now is Jackie Garcia. She's the CEO at Bazaar Models. Jackie, thank you so much for being here with us. We're so excited.
Thank you for having us, and we're really excited to let everybody know back at home who are watching us about Texas International Fashion Week.
You know what? How about we start there? What is Texas International Fashion Week?
It's a celebration of fashion that takes place here in our city. We work collaboratively with several different designers that come in internationally into our hometown city here in El Paso, and we get to see all the wonderful and beautiful trends that are in style.
And you know, you're going to have a lot of incredible girls, women modeling all these designer clothes. Talk a little bit about how much work goes into it.
A lot of it. It is actually coordinating over 90 female models, 40 kid models, 40 male models, and we have over 25 designers this year. So it's definitely going to be a great highlight for the city of El Paso, but definitely a lot of work that goes into making sure everybody's coordinated and ready to go.
So what's your favorite part about this whole entire event?
Definitely the confidence that our local talent gets to showcase on the runway. It's definitely an event that they wait for throughout the year. It's only once a year, and so just seeing their confidence, gracing the runway, seeing all their beautiful faces, and excited to just be walking a show that's something that's very similar to New York or LA.
Wow, my gosh, I love that El Paso is finally bringing such big events to our city. This is one of them. You know, if you guys are interested in going, it's definitely open to the public.
It is definitely open to the public, and they can visit our offices over at Bazaar Models for tickets. They can also visit eventbrite.com or give us a call at 915-313-4570 for those tickets.
And you know, we actually have some details for you to put up on the screen. As a matter of fact, this is what you need to know. Jackie, tell us a little bit about when, who, where, what.
Yes, it is this Saturday, November the 22nd. Doors open at 7 p.m. at our El Paso Convention Center.
Wow, so it's going to be a really unique event. It's this Saturday. If you guys don't have plans, go out there and just really cheer on all the local talent. Jackie, anything else you want to say real quickly?
No, just hopefully everybody can make it through, and if you come, please, there's always traffic around that time, so please be early, be on time, don't miss it, because the opening is amazing.
Oh my gosh, well there you guys have it. Jackie, thank you so much for being here with us today. Guys, don't go anywhere. We still have another half hour of news and weather coming up right after this.
2026 CRVs. Honda was named Kelley Blue Book America's best value brand. Visit 1490 Lee.
Welcome back to KTSM 9 Plus. I'm Monica Cortez. To breaking news now. In a highly anticipated vote, the House and Senate has now passed a bill to release files connected to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Washington correspondent Christian Escow has the latest.
The Senate just passed the bill through unanimous consent, which means that once the bill moves from the House to the Senate, it'll automatically pass without needing to hold a vote, and it'll go straight to the president's desk for his signature. Now, in the House earlier, the vote was nearly unanimous, 427-1. Earlier, before the vote, we heard from several Epstein survivors who urged lawmakers to support releasing the files.
I was in 9th grade. I was hopeful for life and what the future had held for me. He stole a lot from me.
Holding up a picture of her 14-year-old self, Jenna Lisa Jones says she is a survivor of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse when she was a child. She and other survivors appeared on Capitol Hill, calling on lawmakers to vote in favor of releasing the Epstein files.
The truth is something that we all deserve.
A discharge petition signed by all House Democrats and 4 Republicans forced a vote on the House floor against the wishes of leadership.
Fighting so hard against the most powerful people in the world, even the President of the United States.
The House passed the Epstein files bill with near unanimous support. House Speaker Mike Johnson ultimately voted yes, but had concerns about the legislation.
It fails to fully protect victim privacy. It could create new categories of victims.
President Trump criticized Democrats on the issue, despite his call for House Republicans to vote in favor of releasing the files.
What the Epstein is a Democrat hoax. You should go and look at the Democrats who received money from Epstein.
President Trump has said he'll sign the bill, but hasn't given any indication yet as to how quickly it'll be signed. In Washington, I'm Kristen Escow.
A federal court in El Paso said Texas cannot use newly drawn congressional maps for the upcoming 2026 midterms. Over the summer, Republicans redrew district boundaries to give their party an advantage and pick up 5 additional seats in the midterm elections. The federal court said the maps were racially gerrymandered. The decision is already being appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, and Dylan McKim is tracking the fallout as congressional candidates are now adjusting which district they're running for.
After more than a month of deliberation, a 3-judge panel is temporarily blocking these newly drawn congressional maps. The decision is now causing a domino effect of shifting campaigns, especially in Central Texas. U.S. Congressman Lloyd Doggett, who decided not to run for re-election because of direct competition with Democratic Congressman Greg Casar in the new map, is now back in the race and will run for re-election in District 37.
I've been fortunate to represent this community for a number of years, and I hope I'll have the confidence of voters to give me a chance to do it another 2.
Casar's District 35, one of the 5 targeted by Republicans to flip from blue to red. Now that it's back to the current boundaries, Casar said he will run for re-election in his current district.
First, we celebrate this decision.
Things are a little more unclear for someone like John Lira. He announced intentions to run for the newly drawn District 35 as a Democrat, but now he's unsure what his next step is.
Now, someone like Lira is in a tricky spot. The court issued its ruling on November 18th, but candidates only have a couple of weeks to decide if they're going to run for office. That deadline is December 8th.
We're going to continue to go forward as if these maps are still in play, as if we're running in the 35 for now.
Governor Greg Abbott said the state is swiftly appealing this decision. In a statement, he said, quote, "Any claim that these maps are discriminatory is absurd and unsupported by the testimony offered during 10 days of hearings." The next step is the U.S. Supreme Court. We have no idea when or if the High Court will make a decision on this ruling, which could affect the state's primary election. That's scheduled for March 3rd, but the state could delay it to later in the year as this fight continues. In Austin, I'm Dylan McKim.
And in order to move the date back of the primary, it would take an act from the Texas legislature. We did reach out to the Texas Secretary of State's office to ask if the ruling would impact the primary date, but we did not hear back. Meanwhile, El Paso Water is set to begin their budget process this week. The board is set to meet this Thursday to present budget priorities and proposed rates. EP Water says any changes made will go into effect May 1st if they are approved in January. Now, members of the public can sign up to speak in person and have an opportunity to give public comment on the proposed budgets and rates. And for more information, you can always visit KTSM.com. Well, over in New Mexico, after more than 2 years, a Hobbs teen who was convicted of throwing her newborn into the dumpster has had her appeal rejected. Nearly 4 years ago, Alexis Avila was sentenced to 16 years behind bars after a jury found her guilty of child abuse and attempted first-degree murder. In 2023, she appealed her conviction, claiming she did not get a fair trial because the jury's instructions were confusing and her attorney did not bring up insanity as a defense. The State Court of Appeals rejected those arguments.
We're very happy that we got a good result in this case. It was our position all along that this defendant had a fair trial. She was convicted by a jury of her peers, and that conviction should stand. So we're very happy with the result today.
Now, Avila was released as her appeal made its way through the courts, but the DA says they will file a motion to revoke that release. And in developing news, an El Paso jury found a man guilty of sexually assaulting a child. According to the El Paso County District Attorney's Office, 54-year-old Edwin Perez was convicted of aggravated sexual assault of a child last Friday and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. This was from an incident back in 2022 where the victim reported to a school counselor that she had been assaulted by Perez several years earlier at a sleepover at his house. At the time of the assault, the victim was only 9 years old. All right, let's go ahead and take a brief pause from all of today's top headlines and talk about the weather, because you know what? We are in for some pretty big changes this evening going into the rest of the week. Chief Meteorologist Robert Bettis is standing by. Robert, you triggered that weather authority alert.
I did, and I'm especially nervous about late Wednesday night, tomorrow night into Thursday about midday. And I'll explain why. Right now, temperature is 69 degrees at the International Airport. The dew point 37. The cloudy skies looks gloomy. Looks cooler outside than it actually is. We made it to 71 so far today. 71 Juarez, 64 Las Cruces, and 67 for Deming. This specific low-pressure system is on approach, and it's drawing a tremendous amount of moisture up across Mexico into the borderland. When that gets a little closer and the energy waves hit, we're going to see the rain. Now tonight, just a few drops before midnight, not a major deal. As we cruise into the morning hours, yes, the chance of more moderate rainfall increases, but I'm concerned about Wednesday night into lunchtime Thursday as the atmosphere becomes very unstable. I'll have your detailed forecast coming up in just a little bit. Monica.
Robert, thank you. Now to a story we've been following for months. The criminal case against former El Paso City Council member Joe Molinar has been dismissed. Now, as we previously told you, Molinar was charged with failure to stop and report a collision that he was involved in earlier this month. Now, or this summer, I should say. This video went viral on social media shortly after the incident happened on June 29th at the Quick Walk parking lot on Lomanland. As you can see in this video, the driver of the truck, later identified as Molinar, ended up backing up into another car that was parked. However, Molinar's attorney confirmed to KTSM today that the case was dropped as there was no financial loss for the driver of the vehicle he hit. Molinar did serve a single term on city council from 2021 to 2025. Well, the man in charge of FEMA, David Richardson, is leaving after only 6 months. Richardson said that he agreed to be acting administrator through hurricane season when others wouldn't, and now he can leave for other opportunities. FEMA spokesperson says FEMA's chief of staff, Karen Evans, will take over on December 1st. Now, back in July, lawmakers criticized FEMA's handling of the catastrophic floods in Texas during the July 4th weekend. The floods killed at least 136 people, including more than 24 children and counselors at a sleepaway summer camp for girls. Democrats scrutinize Richardson's whereabouts.
At the critical moments in the search and rescue, and you did not even show your face for more than a week after the flood.
I was in constant communication with the state of Texas, DHS, and the White House, handling the disaster immediately when I found out.
Now, Richardson says he was on his way to Gettysburg with his kids when he heard about the flooding and worked the phone for the next 4 days. He previously said he returned to Washington on the day after the flooding. Well, coming up, El Paso rejects Texas Gas Service's proposed rate hike. We go over to social media pages and see what you have to say in our In the Comments segment. Thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9+, always putting local first.
Scan to download
Easy sour thing.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Welcome back, everyone, and check this out. So a Borderland holiday tradition returns for another year. The 31st annual Navidad de la Fe Luminarias will bring 4,000 luminarias lit along Scenic Drive to kick off the holiday season. The event is free to the public and kicks off Saturday, December 20th. La Fe is also asking all participants to bring canned foods or cash donations to help El Paso families in need. How gorgeous,
Wow,
right? I
is
love this tradition. I really do. It's so beautiful.
Is that the LaFay Clinic?
Yes, I think so.
You know, Corbin interned there.
No way.
Yes,
She
my
loved
daughter Corbin, she loved it. She loved everything they did and thinks they're such a quality organization, and wow, that just proves it.
Absolutely. They do so many things for the community. And you know, Robert, speaking of Christmas, okay, question, and maybe you guys can answer this too. When is the perfect time to start decorating your home for Christmas?
I think the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But if you're really good at it, go ahead. After Halloween,
Right?
please.
Yes.
Nothing before Halloween.
Nothing
After
before.
that,
no.
knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Enjoy. We're ready.
So I'll be like almost everyone else and do it on Friday after Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Okay. Or whatever. Let's take a look outside. Gosh, this cloud cover is starting to put me in the holiday spirit. Now we just need some chilly winds and rainfall, and we may get that. Plenty of it. In fact, even thunderstorms. KTSM has issued a weather authority alert, especially for the potential for strong storms late Wednesday night through about midday on Thursday. So we want everybody ready for those potential storms. Rain-wise, we're looking good this year. 9.01 at the airport officially, and then we should be at 7.95. So we're tracking above normal. Here's a look in Ruidoso right now. We've got cloudy skies up there. It's still dry at this point. They could actually see a very light wintry mix by late Wednesday night up in the very upper elevations above about 7,500 feet up there. Nothing major, but nonetheless a little winter-like weather. 54 is the temperature right now. Nothing winter-like about that 54. So far today, in spite of the clouds, 71 at the airport, 67 Deming, and 63 TRC. Satellite radar composite. Now, nothing to worry about tonight. Cloudy skies tonight. If anything, I think right before midnight or so, we'll get a couple of drops of rain. Past midnight into the morning hours, we're going to see an increased chance of rain showers. But again, I've triggered that alert mainly for Wednesday night into about lunchtime on Thursday, when the atmosphere becomes incredibly unstable. And with it, we face the potential for strong thunder showers that could unlock some brief heavy rainfall. That would be early in the morning on Thursday, and it's rare to get thunderstorm chances in the morning. Here's your 9-hour forecast for tomorrow. Cloudy skies with periodic rain showers coming and going. That high temperature goes down to 65 degrees for our Wednesday. Allergy-wise, 9s for the next couple of days, popping up to 12 on Friday. 50 your low temperature tonight for Las Cruces, with again a few drops before midnight with some early morning rain possible. 65 your high temperature tomorrow. You'll be very close to El Paso on temperature. 52 low tonight, very mild because of the cloudy skies. And then tomorrow, 65 with again periodic scattered rain showers. Now, only KTSM gives you 9 full days of weather. On Thursday, especially late Wednesday night, that's when the main energy of the storm passes over El Paso. That's when the atmosphere really shoots up on its instability. So between late Wednesday night and midday Thursday, this is what I'm watching that concerns me. 60 the high temperature by late Thursday night. It all clears out. Friday, gorgeous 67, 75 Saturday. I've altered Sunday. I do believe we'll be a little windy at times. I think we're going to be cloudy and 68 with a slight chance at this point of a couple of drops. That's about all. Back to sunshine Monday and Tuesday, and a little windy on Thursday. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and take a quick look outside using our tech stock cameras. Up here we have I-10 Mesa on the west side, where you can see things are moving quite nicely in both directions. Not a lot to slow us down. Then we move on over to I-10 Viscount, where you're also seeing traffic moving smoothly in both directions. You do have a little bit more congestion on the east side at this hour in this particular area, but other than that, no major delays that we can see. Well, on Monday, Texas Gas Services proposed a 27% rate increase, which would translate to about $10 to $14 more on your monthly bill. City Council members made their position clear, voicing concerns about the impact on families and formally opposing the request at the local level. Right now, different regions pay different rates. The company is asking to merge all those service zones into one big statewide structure. Texas Gas Service says that would change. That change would then let them to spread out costs and help improve reliability. But city officials pushed back, saying that under this plan, El Paso could actually end up paying more than other communities. Now, we did share the story all over social media accounts, and lots of you had lots you wanted to share. So we're going to start off with Ralph Meiji, who says they always reject to make it look like they're helping, but then a few months later, they approve the increases. Laura Cantrell writes, how are you going to increase anything by 27% and minimum wage hasn't changed in 1,000 years? Mike Navarro says, reminder that there are elderly people living on fixed income who barely scrape by. Now, some El Pasoans did say that this proposal comes at a bad time as families are already facing higher housing, groceries, and utility costs. City Council formally opposed the request Monday, but the final decision does not come from the city. It's actually going to come from the Texas Railroad Commission, which is expected to make a ruling early next year. And here at KTSM, of course, we want to hear more from you, so make sure you are following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Más Las Cruces.
Hello, my name is Jeremiah Hernandez. I am the Assistant Gas Supervisor for our Gas Utilities Department. Now that we are getting into the colder season here in the city of Las Cruces, we would like to let you know to get familiar with your gas appliances that you might have inside your home or residential or any commercial building. This would include gas stoves, furnaces, central heating system, water heaters, clothes dryers, and indoor or outdoor fireplaces. This would also include pool and spa heaters and barbecue. What to do if you do have a gas odor inside your home? Please step out immediately, and when doing so, do not use any open flame, do not turn on any electrical devices, or turn on any light switches. Please call in our emergency dispatch number immediately, and before entering back into the home, verify please with our emergency personnel before doing so. We are here to help and be committed to the city of Las Cruces. Please stay warm, stay safe out there, and thank you for doing your part. For any more information, please visit the website that you see on the screen.
So, KTSM 9, your home for the holidays.
All right, here's the last look at the forecast. Tomorrow, we'll have cloudy skies. We'll have periodic rain showers, 65. The high temperature as we cool down. I'm very concerned between Wednesday night and about lunchtime Thursday. The atmosphere becomes very unstable. Could see some strong thunder showers in that window. 60 our high temperature on Thursday. Friday, all clear, 67, 75 Saturday. Sunday is a change. I think we'll get cloudy, a little cooler with a high of 68, possibly even a few drops. I need a little more data on the moisture on that day. Monday, beautiful. Tuesday, sunny. Wednesday, 72. And at this point, and again, this is 9 days out, Thanksgiving is looking sunny, cooler at 62, and maybe a little windy with a cool front. But of course, we'll track it closely as we get closer. Monica.
All right, Robert, thank you so much. Well, now we have one last story for you before we go. Check this out. Target is partnering with Starbucks to offer customers an exclusive holiday drink. So starting today, the companies are introducing a new frozen peppermint hot chocolate Starbucks cafes located inside Target stores that will offer the drink. The cream frappuccino based drink is made with a blend of mocha sauce, milk and ice, topped with peppermint whipped cream and sprinkles. It will be available throughout the holiday season. Robert, what do you think about that? Sprinkles. I love sprinkles.
Can I ask you a favor?
Yeah.
Can you roll the prompter back, and Monica, can you read the description of that drink just one more time, please? But slower.
So, okay, it says it's a cream frappuccino, right? It's a base drink with a blend of mocha sauce, milk, and ice. And then it's topped with peppermint whipped cream, and then it has sprinkles on top of it.
Yeah, that sounds, it sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. That's it for me. I'm Monica Cortez. See you all tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. 9 News Now is up next.
Hair and wardrobe provided by